Greetings of peace in paradise, family. You know, our communities are in a state of emergency. And sadly, that's not new for many people. Health and wealth inequities have been a reality for certain communities for a long time. But right now, the toxic burden on our systems has us in such a lurch that every single day we're literally getting exposed to over 70,000 different chemicals. So it doesn't really matter what we try to do to be all natural. I have been, in this space of trying to live the most naturalist life for going on 20 some odd years. But even with all that I do, when I was pregnant, I recognized the fact that even with everything I was doing, my baby was going to be among all the rest who are being exposed to so many chemicals. And that's not okay. It's sad that so many women are losing their babies and losing their own lives because our communities have accepted as normal death styles. And the sooner we get out of that space, the sooner we transition to a better state, the better we can be, because it's not normal, at least not in my perspective, to have over 40% of the population with disease disparities. It's not normal that we don't have places to get good minerals out of our food and our water typically. We don't have a way other than supplementation. And sadly, many of the nutraceutical companies, they don't have our best interests at heart either. They're the same profits before people. And when you have so many different sides that are all in the same thing together to profit from our pain, we have to then make a choice to embrace lifestyles and walk away from death styles. And I'm not saying it's easy, but I am saying that you're worth it. I'm saying those you like and love are worth it. And it's simple changes that literally transform your life. I am a mom of an 18-month-old at 44 years old. And this is my first successful pregnancy. And I've had lots of pregnancies, miscarriage after miscarriage, stillbirth after stillbirth. And you would think that in your 30s, something would be easier than in your 40s, but voila, the studying that I did, the things that I learned, the actual gifts that I've been able to have shared with me. I'm so grateful that I had, friends of the family who said, hey, I'm doing this and hey, I'm doing that. And by them sharing their testimonies with me, I was able to actually benefit in ways that I can never thank the Creator enough, because I'm a mom, right? I can't impress upon us enough that in our normal day-to-day life, we're constantly sharing. But what I found was a point where I recognized that wellness habits were something that for a lot of people, that wellness habit cost more than they could afford. And they didn't recognize the fact that the disease disparity had a much greater cost than they could ever afford. But it's a mindset shift. It's a shift from coming from a scarcity mindset to an abundance mindset. And I can tell you that when I first got exposed to what you see here, which is the Wellness Preparedness Kit, I wasn't in a mindset that was open, coachable, or teachable, because I had met one part of the goal, which was to get the baby. But my sugars had never been in the 500s and 600s before. My pressures had never been in 200s, over 100 and some things like that before. And they kept going up higher. So the question was, okay, I've gotten to the goal. Now what do we do to keep me here? Because I wasn't raised by my mom, and there was no way I wanted my son to be a motherless child. So what am I going to do? I prayed. And in praying, I can never thank the Creator enough for impressing on my heart to make the call that I made, because the person who I called had had a cancer battle and knew that he didn't want to end up taking chemotherapy. And he knew that he didn't want to go the surgically invasive route, because he knew people in his circle who had done that. And he saw what that looked like. He had a friend of his who 9 years prior had had a cancer battle with 2 types of stage 4 cancer. And shockingly enough to me, both people took the product on the top left every hour on the hour, because once you kind of figure out what works, you keep doing what works. And every hour on the hour, and those cells that had that unnatural reality, which was not good within it, they literally ended up getting rid in the system of the toxins and poisons and expelling, because Daily Detox Plus goes in at a cellular level, and it will stay in the cell if it's an unhealthy cell as long as 72 hours, until it causes that cell to literally self-destruct. So abnormal cells, right, don't have to be there. We all have cancer cells in our body. We all have toxins and poisons. The question is, what are we doing on a daily basis that takes the trash out and then restores the system, whereby you can, at a cellular level, restore and then protect the system at a cellular level. So this right here is literally cellular detoxification, cellular restoration, and cellular protection. But like I said, when I first was exposed to the information, I prayed, but then getting up and doing the work, right? Faith without works is dead. My husband was the one that had the vision. My husband was the one that recognized that he needed to get a wholesale account for our family, and that I needed to make sure that I just took the stuff and we were going to see what happened. And we needed to call a couple of other people that we knew had other situations going on in their world and see what happened for them. Because with this, we weren't just getting a wellness habit. There was a very good compensation plan that sounded initially too good to be true. And we found out that it was better than true. And that was really impactful, because we got what you see here. And I simply started taking Daily Detox Plus every hour on the hour because I had an emergent situation. The Restore twice a day and the V Plus. And literally between a Friday and a Monday, my sugars dropped 150 points. Now remember, my sugars were all the way up at 500 and 600, and they kept going up. And all that I was being suggested was to maybe go into the hospital and get on an IV drip. But the plans for what that looked like with a baby, mind you, that I'm breastfeeding, didn't look good. Fast forward, our mindset opened up because we recognized that we should have been a little more open and a little more coachable and teachable. We added in the THC-free CBD products, and then all of the pain that I had every day, all day, went away. And we, alongside that, did the Region X, which is literally the supporter of human growth hormone. We all need human growth hormone as long as we can, because that's literally what gives us our fountain of youth experience. When you're under 25, you don't need it because your body is still doing what it's designed to do. But it's amazing when your body can have what it needs to heal and repair itself. Added in the Moringa Plus, and then the weight that I had packed on with 31 weeks of bed rest started flying off. It was really a miracle in a way that I can't begin to express upon it. But the bigger miracle is that I had shared it with other people, and each of them had major miracles, and they had shared it with other people. And in so doing, we had a lot of people who were connected to people that I loved, and people who I loved, who literally were exposed to the C19. And we're living in that time where that's a big thing for a lot of people, because some people it's just a cold. For other, you end up catching pneumonia, right? We recognized that consistently everybody was getting better in 24 to 72 hours when they had all of this in their regimen. And we recognized that the people who oftentimes were exposed, who had all of this already in their regimen, they didn't end up having to actually even get it, though they had been exposed. What do we have? We don't diagnose, we don't treat, but what we know is if you literally support your system with cellular detoxification, cellular restoration, and cellular protection, your body does what it's naturally designed to do, which is to heal and repair itself. We have some amazing people who are with me, and I definitely want to start getting some of them to chime on in to share with you their journey. Odell Cohens Jr. is here, and Odell, you were such an inspiration for me at a time that the question was, I typically help everybody else, but dang, right now I'm trying to figure out how I can keep alive. But I listened and I paid attention, and I recognized that you did what a lot of people don't want to do, which is you took action, and you took it massively. Right. You dropped 149 pounds in a year's time, and you didn't do a whole bunch of exercise and change your food. And to me, that's huge, because I constantly tell people, hey, you should do this, you should do that. And they smile, right? But they're typically not going to go in the gym and start working out. They're typically not going to be consistent, right? But they can be consistent in doing this very simple regimen every day. But Absolutely. You, like me, had sugars that were death level. You had pressures that were death level. And we both, like, I was over 300 and some pounds after, having my baby. And you were in the 4s. Both of us packed on a lot of weight in a short time. Me, because I was on 31 weeks of bed rest. You, because of an accident. Can you take us a little further into your journey? Because your journey is more impactful to me than most, because you did $14,000 in less than a 30-day period of time. And I know I was watching you sit and just look at the computer, which was kind of cool, because basically that meant that collaboratively, cooperatively, you made money in a group format, everybody making their own, but you didn't have to do a lot of heavy work to do it.
Right. Because all the heavy lifting was done. But just to take you back on my health side, yeah, I was a dead man walking. I was severely toxic. I mean, to the point where, you know, acid reflux was to the tune of 2 throat surgeries, esophagus erosion, you name it, I had it. Irritable bowel syndrome, gout, uncontrollable hypertension, diabetes that was rampant. It was going crazy, man. High cholesterol, which is the trifecta with the diabetes and the hypertension, to heart disease, which is something that runs rampantly in our culture, in our people. Skin irritation, migraine headaches, vision started going bad from the diabetes, man. You name it, I had it. I was in the hospital. It took a young white doctor, and I'm not prejudiced, it took a young white doctor to sit in front of my wife and my dad at the time and say, if he keeps on going at the rate that he's going, he's not going to be around for his next birthday. And it kind of pissed me off that he said that, because I wanted to jump out the bed and I wanted to start swinging. But I'm like, what you swinging for? What are you getting mad at this man for? This man ruffled your feathers for a reason. So at that time, I got introduced to amazing products. One being Moringa. And too big to go to the gym, too inflamed, just had a hip replacement, couldn't maneuver the way I wanted to maneuver, went into a funk, because we're talking about a former pro football player, and I took pride in my physique, I took pride in my ability to get around, my fluidity in my movement. Then I tear up my hip and my pelvis, and my life is forever changed, all in one day. So I kind of took that the wrong way and ran with it wrong, started eating wrong, didn't care about anything, and it showed. And I paid the price for it. And
that's normal trauma.
Right.
And I think so often we don't recognize that that's what trauma looks like.
Yes, that is trauma. And I got on it. I got on products, and at first I was a little hesitant. You know, the mindset wasn't right, a little hesitant. I wasn't seeing the results as fast as I wanted to. And people, I want you to understand that it took me a year to pack on all that weight. It took me a year to gain all those diseases. So it's going to take you some time before you start seeing the results that you want. It's not going to happen overnight. And I had to get my mind right with that. And once I got my mind right with that, things began to happen. And the very first thing that I noticed was the acid reflux. And I don't know if you guys know how severe acid reflux is nasty. It really is, man. It does a lot to you. It erodes your teeth, man. It messes up your throat, the lining of your throat, your esophagus, you name it, just destroys everything. That acid eats up everything.
I've been there.
Yeah, man. I could walk by a bottle of ketchup back in the days, and acid would just come out my nose. Because I was like, oh man, ketchup, tomatoes, forget about it. So, you know, with that being said, the acid reflux went, the skin irritation went, the migraine headaches, first 3 things. So now I'm still hesitant about the weight loss, and I talked to a renowned doctor by the name of Howard Fisher. Dr. Howard Fisher out of Toronto, Canada, he's an anti-aging phenom in the medicine world, but he's also a proponent of Moringa, of the M+. And he told me, he says, hey, look, if you're not losing weight yet, weight is just a byproduct. The weight loss is the byproduct to you having proper health. He says what he's doing right now is the Moringa is probably addressing other things that you have going on. So he asked me, what's going on? What's your story? And I told him, he was like, wow, you have a lot going on, man. So that, you know, the Moringa and those blood cells are going to work elsewhere to balance you out. So that went on for about a good, I remember exactly, 87 days. 87 days, I had lost 17 pounds. So I was like, okay, let me see the thing. If I put this in hyperspeed Let me see what it can do. Another month later, I was down 60 pounds. So I went from that little bit of weight loss to a big weight loss. And then I was recommended to get into a pool. So the only exercising that I really did was me in a swimming pool with a bunch of blue-haired old women that I love dearly doing aqua therapy. Best move I ever made, good on the joints, total body workout, and not hard on the body. Man, once I got into that joker, that's where things began to happen. That's where the weight loss started, the fat started coming off, started feeling better. My doctor started weaning me off the poisons that I was on, eventually taking me off of 13 medications. 13 medications that I was on, 2 of which were clashing with each other that I didn't even know about till after the fact. Fast forward to now, I've just lost another 30 pounds. I'm anxious to go to the doctors today to have my A1Cs done and to see where I stand as far as weight loss. I know I probably lost about another 30, 35 pounds. So I'm looking forward to that. And I feel amazing. I feel tremendous. I feel good, no headaches. I wake up in the morning now without having to sit in the bed for 5 minutes, hoping that my body parts work. And I'm damaged goods as well because of all the football that I played. I played a lot of football at a high caliber. So I've broken bones, I've been injured, I've had concussions before they had concussion protocols. You know what I mean? Rub some dirt on it, get back in the game. Head killing me and I'm still playing, not knowing any better. And it's given me the opportunity to not have to work for anybody. It's given me the opportunity to be my own shot caller. It's given me an opportunity to change my tax bracket. It's given me an opportunity to go out and pour into other people. It's given me an opportunity to be a resource to other people because before I didn't have the time for it. Because I was boxed up in somebody's workplace, making them create leverage for them. Now I am the leverage creator and the leverage maker.
Definitely. I can definitely resonate with that, Brother Odell.
Yes, sir.
Definitely working for someone else, building their dream instead of building your own, working on building your own, because all the salary is a way to make you forget yours.
Yes.
They're just paying you to forget yours, and they still ain't paying you enough.
Yep.
And
you know it.
You know, if they're paying less money for you to forget your big dreams, where they're achieving their big dreams and making you lose yours.
Right. Using you for their big dreams. Chances are, if you're not dreaming or working towards a dream, you're working towards somebody else's dream.
Exactly. And people don't realize that your dream comes to you, and that's coming through your creator, because I heard a quote that it said that your imagination is the preview for what life has for you. It's God's preview. So,
that's good stuff.
So your vision, what you have for yourself and your dream, that's given only to you. You can't get upset if no one else sees it. It wasn't for them to see. It was for you to see.
Come on.
All of this wellness preparedness has helped me be able to help my wife, because she was very, very bad off, as she explained to you. You know, but I had to have the vision to see, hey, I have to find a way to, one, be able to have a healthy relationship with our finances, have a healthy relationship with our mind, our body, our family, and our community. And this was the vehicle to do so. I didn't know at first what type of vehicle it was. I said, hey, it has 4 wheels. It can get us from point A to point B.
Right.
I took it and I started driving. And look where we are today. So everyone is not going to think that the vehicle is going where it's going to take them where they want to go, but they have to start driving.
That's the key word, brother. That's the key word right there. Start.
Get in the key and start driving. And you'll be able to know, you'll be able to see as you go along where you want to go.
Indeed. And so that's why we have the different options, right? This right here is one of our favorite wholesale accounts because you get one of everything. And that's for people who, you know, you may not have the biggest amount of money to invest in the beginning. And so that $4.99 kit can give you enough whereby you can get started for a family of one. But when you have multiple people in the family, you definitely want to start looking at this, because this is going to end up giving you, for just $9.99, a lot more product. And that gives you a lot more support for your family. This is going to give you 775 points. And that first one I went over is going to give you 400 points. As we keep going, you'll get a little gist as to why it matters, right? And this is the why. You have a wholesale account that's so much better than any other wholesale account I've ever had. And I'm a woman that has a lot of them. And I have a lot of them because I was always taught a healthy relationship with finances. I don't want to be a consumer. I want to be wholesale buyer of whatever I'm getting, because that's how you win. Right. And I learned that going to Martha's Vineyard as a child and looking at the difference in the habits between those who were wealthy and those who weren't. And they were wholesale account holders. So I took that and have kept that as part of my regimen of life, right? But what I love is that if you look at a compensation plan, and you can see how you are earning in 4 different ways. And I'm going to shift right on over back to you, Odell, because you rocked this with almost 14 grand in 30 days. You've helped others consistently over and over and over come up with basically what I see as blueprints. So if you want to do $20,000 in a week, you have the model for that. Can you kind of share with us? Because most people, they are not willing to share. They'll say, hey, I made so much money, but they won't tell you how to do it. What I love here is that we literally have masterminds to make sure that we're living a preparedness lifestyle in balance. Can you kind of take us deeper?
Okay, absolutely. I would love to. Because 1, we're probably not listening, or 2, when opportunity comes, we're in the backyard gardening. But with this particular comp plan right here, one thing about Navon Global, you know, the 3 pillars is what? Transparency, simplicity, and kingdom principles. The simplicity is down to the point where this is actually, I call it a 1 page, but it's a 2 page. It's a 1 page, and the second page breaks down, you know, what everything stands for. So that's how simple it is. So what you see is what you get. You can virtually come in this thing and write your own check, your own weekly check that feeds into the creme de la creme, which is your monthly commissions that gets paid out the 10th of every month. So what this thing is, you know, depending on what kit you come in with, you're going to have a starting volume point. So let's go with the diamond kit. With the diamond kit, you'll come in, you'll have 775 volume points. So what you'll see is the qualified OV starts at 500, which is considered a manager. Once you hit that manager mark with the 775, you're already there. They're just asking you to do one more thing, and that is to bring in 2 personally assigned or 2 personally sponsored members. Now, 9 out of 10, those 2 members are going to come in with the very same way that you came in. So if you came in with the diamond kit, chances are they're going to come in and get started with the diamond kit because they don't want to get left behind like anybody else. So with that being said, you got your 2, you're coming in with your diamond kit that's giving you 775. That puts you in between manager and director. Once you get your 2, that's going to put you between director and executive if they both come in with the diamond kit. So with that being said, at the director mark, you're at 1,500 volume points, qualified organizational volume. You're going to make $250 plus a one-time $300 bonus, plus the $100 bonus that you're going to clean up for bypassing the manager as well. So what you'll see is, depending upon your volume point, because everything is orchestrated to the volume, depending on your volume points, you can be anywhere from manager, director, executive, sapphire, ruby, or emerald. It just depends on the speed that you're going to go at. But understand, with all these, to give you an example, I came in my first 30 days, I made sapphire. Sapphire is 10,000 volume points across the board with 3 legs. It paid me $1,700 for team commissions, and it also paid me a $2,000 bonus, a $1,000 bonus, a $300 bonus, and a $100 bonus, all within that first 30 days. But here's the kicker. Here's the creme de la creme right here. For everybody that I personally sponsored, if you can go to that customer acquisition page real quick, sis. For everybody that I personally sponsored, it came with the acquisition bonus. So to give you an understanding, each entry level has a certain acquisition bonus attached to it. The beginner's kit, the $299 kit, we call it the customer kit, that comes with a $75 weekly payout. The $499 comes with a a $125 payout, and then the diamond kit comes with a $250 weekly payout. And you can do that as many times as you want throughout a calendar week, Monday through Sunday. But here's the dope part. Here's the real juicy part right here. 2 or more in any given calendar week, those bonuses double, all except for the $299. But understand that the $299 is a doubling mechanism. It triggers a doubling effect. So if I were to come in with Sister Aziz, who came in with a $299, and then my sister Grace came in with the diamond kit, that diamond kit would go from $250 to a $500 payout. If I were to sign up Brother Aziz in that same week at a diamond kit, it would be another $500 payout. So not only would I have made $1,000, but I would have made $1,075 to also go along with the team bonuses, commission bonuses, and a monthly commission. So as you can see, it's a very lucrative compensation plan. It's simple, it's basic. Don't get your head wrapped too tight around it right now, because as you go, you will see, you will be trained, you will pick up the pieces, especially once you start getting paychecks. Once you start getting paychecks, you'll understand how your money is really generated.
That's awesome.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Was there anything else you wanted me to touch on, Sister Aziz?
You know, you are amazing, and you've covered it all, Brother Odell. There's nothing else really to cover, right?
Okay.
It's a pretty self-explanatory situation when we're able to just share from our hearts with our own journey. And
Yes.
That's the part that to me is most impactful.
Yes.
You have literally a sea of miracles. Sister Grace had her fiance and he had a heart attack. And it didn't matter that he had this woman who knew all this stuff, right? You men typically aren't as coachable and teachable as we'd like you to be initially. However, when he had the heart attack, he got real coachable, he got real teachable, and that's helped him have an amazing, speedily recovery. But then he got around people who literally wanted to expose him to their COVID germs, literally knew they were COVID-19 positive and kept coming and blowing their nasty germs at his face. But they kept trying to figure out, like, why is it you never got it? But it's because he had the wellness products. He already had his wellness preparedness kit. He was good. And that's been the thing. We don't have just one side of this and how we're transforming lives. We literally are transforming lives with wellness, with wealth, and the freedom to then pursue your passion. Because I don't think anybody is sitting there honestly in truth as a child with their dream, saying, all I want to do is make 12,000 or 20,000 or 50,000 a year. That's not a lot. That's not a lot to fund a whole lot. But if you get back to that dream, that core thing that really drove you and inspired you as a child, the purpose for which you're created, which for most of us, deep down, we really want to transform the world. This really is a vehicle that lets us do just that. And that's the part that's so amazing and such a blessing for sure. So we just ask you to get back to the person that shared this with you, whereby we can just help you launch. And we welcome you aboard, because this movement is a movement of ministry, a ministry rooted in empowering, educating, and inspiring with wellness, wealth, and freedom. We wish you all well, and we're just glad to have you with us.